And we are joined by Napa Valley College women's basketball coach, Paul DeBolt, this morning. How are you doing, Coach?
Good, Kyle. Very good. How are you?
I'm doing great. So first thing I'd like to get started off is, you guys were supposed to have a team last year, and then you didn't play. What's sort of been the transition been like after not having a team and now getting into it this whole season here, this winter upcoming?
Well, we had a team last year. Because of COVID, the state and the college wouldn't let us play. So we were all set to play last year. We had 9 players practicing in and out of the gym, sometimes on the tennis courts, sometimes in the gym because of COVID protocols. But it was 2 years ago that we played 8 games and we folded. We didn't have enough players really.
Gotcha. So with the COVID protocols, how's it been navigating that over the last few years here?
The college, we put safety first, trying to make sure that our student athletes are taken care of, they're safe, that our staff is safe. And I think that's been the main focus all through what we've done. We've got a great training staff that's helped us with that. Obviously, we know a lot more about COVID now than we did a year and a half ago when it started, when the pandemic started. And I think most colleges are they're playing football, they're playing, all sports right now, and had some breakouts, but we have protocols to deal with those. And it looks like things are progressing pretty much as they are at every level right now for us at the California junior college level.
That's great to hear. So ever since you've been there, this will obviously be your first official season, playing games and everything, coaching games at the college. What's it been like at Napa Valley College as you've got acclimated there?
It's a really good place. A lot of support. I've always looked at it. I've competed against Napa Valley College for 3 decades at Contra Costa as coach there. I always looked at Napa as a place where something special could be developed, and that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to start a program that will last. Napa College women's basketball, they've had off and on good teams and haven't made the playoffs for quite some time. We're just hoping to change that. And it's not going to be a quick change, an easy change. I think we've found out that it's difficult to start something from nothing. There was one player here when I got here a couple of years ago, and but it's been a challenge. It's been fun and a lot of support. Jerry Dunlap's a great athletic director. We have tremendous support staff, training staff. College is a very friendly, good place, high academic standards, all of that. So we're hoping to attract more and better players as we go through the seasons. We're recruiting for next year already, and the future's bright, I think, for us.
Next, I want to ask about the upcoming season here, but first I want to hit on the coaches. Obviously Zach Cook has come over to join you. That was announced after a few years ago now. What's it been like having Zach join your staff, and who else is on your staff for this season?
Zach's great. Zach has a lot of coaching experience. He has taken on 2 huge roles for us. He's our strength and conditioning coach, and we have regular strength and conditioning workouts 3 times a week that we do religiously, and he's very good at that. I think he's helped us set a standard there that we'll be able to keep. Also, he's coaching our defenses right now, and he's got a lot of experience doing that. So, and Zach's somebody I can talk to. He's been a head coach. He knows the ups and downs of the job, and he's really helpful. We hang out together. It's been fun having him to bounce things off of, and he bounces things off of me too. One of my former players at Contra Costa, Angelita Hutton, is another coach who is with us. He's with us on a volunteer basis, and pretty much part-time, but she'd be at all the games. She's a Kodak All-American for me, got a full ride to Nevada, Reno, tore ACL, came back and finished up at Holy Names University. So Both of them have their degrees. Zach has a master's degree, which is one of the real standards I put on having people as assistant coaches, is that their education is complete. And it's a good group. And Angelita is very knowledgeable about the game, played at Berkeley High School, played all the way through as a kid, has done coaching, has coached AAU club teams and youth teams, and helped me at Contra Costa for 5 years. So feel very comfortable with this group of coaches.
So now let's transition to the schedule. You guys have your first game in a tournament, I believe, this weekend.
Yep.
Tell me a little about that tournament and what you're expecting in it.
We open at the Mission Tournament, which will give us 3 games in Santa Clara. We open up on Friday at 4:00 against Monterey Peninsula College. Really don't know much about them, but I know they're playing tonight against College of San Mateo. So we'll at least have some information about them before we play. But basketball season is a long stretch. I mean, it's 4 months. We've been working out since June as a group. We added people along the way, and this gives us a chance to get a good start. And we play a pretty competitive preseason schedule. I don't believe in playing teams that aren't real competitive, so we may end up with a few of those in a tournament format. But really, we're trying to play basketball against quality opponents, so we get to know the level, we respect the level, and grow as a program. So we will play 3 games. Second game will be against Cabrillo or Foothill on Saturday. And then the third game is whatever the third game is. It will be on Sunday.
And while we're talking about tournaments, you guys, I believe, have 2 more tournaments after that. I know you guys have the Storm Surge tournament, but you guys are away for like 2 more after that. I think so too, right?
We're in 4 tournaments, so we're not going to play any single games. There's a reason for that. That really isn't necessary to get into, but it just simplifies what we're doing this year. And we're gonna go to the Ventura College tournament in 2 weeks at Ventura College. We'll open up against College of the Canyons, and then we will have our own tournament the 3rd, 4th, and 5th of December, an 8-team tournament bracketed tournament, and we'll open against San Jose in that tournament at 6:00 on the 3rd. And then 2 weeks later, we go to the City College of San Francisco tournament.
Gotcha. And then to sort of go back to the Storm Surge tournament, who all is in that tournament? Can you give us a look ahead to who is in that tournament?
Let's see. San Francisco, Los Medanos, Siskiyou's Contra Costa, Napa Valley, San Jose, and Golden West, and Sac City.
Wow, that's a pretty good tournament.
It's good teams, good coaches, good programs.
So once you get into Bay Valley Conference play, and I know that's a long ways off, but Solano is like always the team. Have you guys? Obviously, you guys are going to try to get some games, but Solano is like the measuring stick, right? What are you guys going to have to do? No, they're not
really. Not anymore.
No?
I mean, Solano's always a quality team. I think the favorites in our conference this year are Laney and Yuba. Solano's close. There's going to be a lot of balance in our conference this year. I know, we're an up and coming team. Merritt's got a good club. Los Medanos is a solid team. I mentioned Laney and Yuba. Marin's got a fairly new coach who's really got them playing well. So I think the conference, we'll play every game the same in the conference. We're gonna prepare for each opponent, go out and play, and do the best that we can to be competitive and maybe even challenge for a playoff spot this year. That's going to be a reach, but our first goal is always going to be to win the conference. So that's our goal.
So now I want to pivot to the roster. I know you guys have 4 girls from Napa on your roster. Maisie, you have Rosie Scaduto, right? Nicole Gleason, and then Perla from Vintage, right? How have they been so far?
Well, I mean, we recruit Napa first. We want Napa kids, and so we're recruiting Napa kids right now. and it's nice to have them. It's good to have some homegrown talent. We also have kids from out of the area, not from too far away, but commuter type kids from Vacaville, Fairfield, American Canyon, Benicia. But yeah, they're all nice players. Rosie and Perla play the 5 spot for us. They're undersized posts, and they are solid kids, solid players. Maisie and Nicole are guards. I think you're familiar with both of them. So
Yeah.
Nicole's a kickback from Dominican University.
Yeah.
And so she's a sophomore. Maisie just finished her senior year at Napa. Rosie and Perla are both freshmen because they just haven't used the year of eligibility. They're 2020 graduates. So yeah, it's good having those kids on the team, and they're solid contributors, all of them.
Who else is on this roster that we should know about? If you want to talk about each one of them in depth a little bit more.
Yeah, hopefully I don't forget anybody. I don't have any notes or anything in front of me. So, yeah, I mean, we've got 12 players. It's a nice group. It's sort of a different group. They're pretty inexperienced. 11 of them have never played a college basketball game. Really, Myra and Malaya were on the team 2 years ago for 8 games, but Myra was hurt and only played in 4 games. So anyway, I can go through them in no particular order. I've already mentioned Maisie. She's a shooting guard, nice distributor, very savvy all-around basketball player. And we're using her at the 1 and 2 spots. And we really play 5 guards in our offense most of the time. Nicole, all around, just great basketball player, fantastic player at this level. She's shot blocker, defender, rebounder, passer, deflector, scorer. I think you'll see an uptick in her scoring with us. We need her to score more, and so we're asking her to do more offensively. And she also is a good distributor. Nice passer in that game. We've got Amari Cooper, a guard from American Canyon, really a knockdown shooter who's developing the rest of her game. She's going to play the 2 and the 3 spots for us. She's learning how to defend. She's really coming along as a college basketball player, and she's going to get a lot of looks at the basket, and we're asking her to score. We have a kid from Saipan, Aaliyah Fernandez, who again is a shooter, sort of a 2-3, a little bigger player, about 5'7", 5'8", played on the national team for Saipan. It's an island in the Pacific, and nice shooter, again, learning the game at this level, learning to defend, learning how to switch up defenses and do things, but she does a really good job for us. We got a 6'1" kid who plays at 6'1" or bigger, Katie Scheibold from Rancho Cotati. She graduated in 19, I believe, and she's a big presence in the middle for us and plays the center spot. She's a true 5. She's a true big. So that gives us that. She's developing. She's getting into shape. And again, you can tell I'm using that word a lot, developing, but not much of an offensive player yet, but she's getting there. And 2 kids from Vacaville Christian, Myra Jackson, a point guard, solid player, playmaker, scorer, sort of a combo guard, who's developing also, and Addison Alsbury, a nice player who plays she basically plays all 5 positions for us. Swiss Army knife type kid who can defend, works really hard, picking things up quickly. She's even playing some 1 for us now and some 5. So we're dependent on her to spell Nicole, and even to play the 5 spot and also to play the 1. I've got a little guard from Jesse Bethel, Jalen Suspia, who is a little spark plug, plays really hard, nice shooter. She's about 5'1", gets up and down the court. She's also learning sort of how to navigate the level, particularly at her size, but a nice player. She's going to help us a lot. And then 2 sophomores who played for us 2 years ago, for a very short time. Myra Montez, who is from Calistoga. She's just a straight up shooter, still developing defensively. And she's still kind of recovering from an ACL injury she had a couple years ago. But she's going to help us a lot. She's a 3-point shooter when she's open and is learning how to defend. And then Malaya Cronin, a gal we had 2 years ago, also from Benicia, who's a good guard, solid presence on the court, good defender, plays hard, and is going to fill up some minutes for us too. So I don't think I left anybody out. That should be 12 of them.
Well, thank you for going through them. How important is it to you to have 12 players? I mean, numbers is something that the last time they had a team wasn't a strength. To have 12 girls now has to be great to have.
Yeah, we worked hard recruiting, Zach and I, and I think having Nicole was a benefit. I think people want to play with Nicole Gleason, and that's helped us. Nicole helped us in recruiting just by committing early. Maisie committed really early, as did Amari. Well, Amari a little later, but yeah, it's important to have some depth, and we'll use our depth. I mean, everybody's not going to play big minutes, but everybody will play, and we need 12 players to function normally in practice. We also want to be able to make it through a year. It's not just COVID. There's concussion protocols now. Just a lot of things to navigate throughout a college basketball season. So having 12 players gives us a little depth, and it's sort of what we want to do in our program. Is we want to have a place for a lot of players to come in and play and to participate. I usually had big teams at Contra Costa, not every year, but I had teams that had 16 on them. 14 was regular. Some were below 10, but when you drop below 10, it's more difficult to get commitments from players. They tend to sort of run things, if one person takes a day off, then everybody's got like a union day off a week, and then you don't have them all in practice. So, but we're really happy. These kids come to practice every day. They come ready to practice. They're working hard. For the most part, they listen. They're good students. And our hurdle right now is just getting them to develop skills that will make them successful at our level of basketball.
And then going forward, how's the recruiting going with Taylor, Joe Donahoe, and Andy Betancourt from the 3 local high schools? How's that been going? Getting Napa your first priority?
Yeah, I mean, I have good relationships with all 3 of them. We hosted a summer league last summer, and they all participated, as did a bunch of other schools, high schools. And no, I haven't called them, I haven't bugged them too much, but they're starting practice. I think they started practice yesterday, and I know they're gearing up, and there's several kids at those schools who we are looking at and who we've been in touch with. And as American Canyon, Angela Davis there, and other schools. So we're Marcel Palmer at Rodriguez. We're reaching out to a lot of different places, and Bandon, Allison Johnson and Bandon. And so we're hoping to be a program that can attract quality people, quality players, and quality students. And of course, our goal is to help them become college students and then to move them on to 4-year schools to play basketball there. So that's the, as a JUCO in California, we're transfer institutions, and that's what we specialize in.
And then last thing I want to ask is, you guys, I believe, are the first game before the men during league games, if I'm correct on that. You guys are the 5:30.
We play 5:30 games this year. Yeah.
Yeah.
And on Saturday games are 1 and 3.
So how important is it to, have that doubleheader with Coach Ball's team, because that hasn't been there. How important is it for you guys to both have your teams on display the same night?
I think it's great for, obviously, next year we'll go 7:30, he'll go 5:30. But for fans, it gives people the opportunity to come in and see both teams. Hopefully they stay for complete games of both. It's just a very normal thing to do now. 5:30 is a little early for people who are getting off work to get to games, but I think it's a good idea just to promote our programs. It's easier on our staff, on our training staff, on our athletic staff. So, and it makes sense. And everybody gets to see our teams, one after the other all year. So Steve's got a nice group too. I'm looking forward to working with him. I've known Steve for quite some time. And so we're just ready to go. They open Friday as well. So I think they're down at Cabrillo College at either a crossover or a tournament.
Yep, I'll be talking to him on Thursday. That's a sneak peek. But
talk to me first. Thank you.
But anyway, I want to thank you very much for your time today, Paul. Any final thoughts?
No, we're just we're just happy to be here, and we're looking forward to a fun competitive year.
Great. Thank you very much.
All right, Kyle. Thank you.